ATP, what it do with your boy Clay Rain? Back at you guys with another one, man. Salute to all my subscribers, everybody who's helping this platform grow into and fulfill the vision that I have for it. I appreciate you guys, man. If this is your first time tapping into the content, I am going to invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit your bell icons as well, so you all getting alerts when all this content is dropping. Bill Haney drops a tweet. As you guys know, ever since Devin Haney'S made his return and was announced to make his return, Bill Haney was back on his campaign, promoting and pushing his son to the forefront of boxing, making sure that the space keeps their eyes on what the Haney's are doing. Great at his job. Maybe one of the best in the game right now at doing what he does. I know he gets under the skin of a lot of detractors in the game, but at the end of the day, the results speak louder than the words, right? The means justify the ends. Or is it the other way? Is the ends justified by the means? I don't know, right? But at the end of the day, when you're winning, it's hard to knock you down. And right now, though, Devin Haney coming off of one of his most lackluster performances, or not even arguably the most lackluster performance he's had in a long time outside of a performance against Ryan Garcia. The space is pushing back at Devin Haney, right? Still questioning Devin Haney's chin, his willingness to box in the game, his ability to compete at the highest level with the competition and the likes of the Gervonta Tank Davises, the Shakur Stevenses, the Jerron Boots Ennis's. That being said, Bill Haney, and in a way only Bill Haney can do it, puts out a tweet and basically speaks out to the space and says, listen, this will be the Devin Haney era. One thing about Devin Haney and Bill Haney is they've always been able to do things their own way, right? Operating outside of the lines and still finding a way to be successful, moving all around the space, wherever the opportunity is. Bill Haney makes damn sure he's able to put his son, Devin Haney, in the crosshairs of the biggest opportunities. We've seen him do this at 135 pounds, getting him all the way to undisputed. We've seen him go ahead and move and transition to 140 pounds to become a champion there. And outside of him coming short against a Ryan Garcia with all of the drama, right, that came up behind that, with all of the PD usage, Ryan Garcia not making weight, and all these different complications that came up that made that fight questionable. For the most part, Bill Haney's been able to execute on what he's promised to do for his son, which is assure and lock in and cement his legacy in this boxing game. And here he is, knowing and understanding and showing the rest of the boxing space, in a way, the road to greatness, right? The road to having an era named after you. Now, me personally, listen, I think Devin Haney's a top level fighter. When it comes to pedigree, not too many can match with him. I know other, detractors would push back at that idea, but listen, man, the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is in the sauce, the ingredients, and what we've seen from the eye tests have shown that Devin Haney is definitely a top level fighter. But as of late, since that Ryan Garcia fight, we've been waiting to see Devin Haney have a significant performance, do something great to put him back in that conversation. It would seem presently that he's been derailed from those accolades, and it's kind of hard to give him those accolades without getting pushback from a space, knowing that also Devin Haney and the whole entire Haney brand and campaign that's been putting out there has got a lot of detractors and a lot of people who are just not happy or are not on the same page as them when it comes to the way they see themselves. So I digress, and I bring it full circle back to, how does Devin Haney get back into the graces of being one of the greats, on the road to being a legacy-driven fighter, on the road to be a legend in the game? Well, listen, one thing Bill Haney's not going to do, he's not going to sell you short. And what he's put out is this list. And let me just pull out this list right here real quick here. Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Tank Davis, Jerron Boots Ennis, Brian Norman Jr., Mario Barrios, Keyshawn Davis, Rolly Romero, and Connor Ben, to name a few. Right now, right off the back, that's about 8 or 9 fighters right there that, listen, man, this is what you want to see in the fight game. You want to see Devin Haney, you want to see a favorite fighter fight all of the talent in the space, all of the competition in the space that can run it with him and really the best of the best fighting the best, right? If Devin Haney was able to go through a list of fighters like this, his resume would be in compared, he'd be hit that resume right there, beating these fighters, even fighting them. Forget about beating them, right? Beating them is definitely one accomplishment, but just getting in the ring with all these fighters is what you want to see in the boxing space today. And with the likes of a Turkey Al Sheik behind Devin Haney and behind that product and that brand, it's realistic that a lot of these fights can ultimately end up happening. Now, you've got a couple of fighters on here between Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis. It does seem like these fighters are in the 135-pound weight class division. Maybe they'll go up to 140 pounds. That's probably where they'll end up at. But getting them to come up to 147, we'll see how that ends up working out. Listen, the money talks at the end of the day. Shakur Stevenson has entertained going all the way up to 147 to fight Conor Benn. Why not go up there to fight Devin Haney? And that's a fight that's legitimately there in front of him with the likes of a Turkey Al Sheik supporting and financing these fights coming together. Bill Haney understanding this, and that's one thing I always have to give credit to Bill Haney for, is to say that, yeah, he might talk the talk, but one thing is for sure, two things is for certain. He puts his son in the crosshairs and in front of the biggest competition possible. Right now, making these fights are always easier said than done. In the past, with the across the street politics and things of that nature, even though Bill Haney's been able to move from one promotional company to the next company to make the biggest fights, it still's been an uphill battle for him. Now, with Turkey Al Sheik on their side, providing them the financing, right, providing them the sponsorship they need in order to put this fight together, and now that Devin Haney has a multiple fight deal with Turkey Al Sheik, he has vested interest in Devin Haney being part of some of the biggest fights. And the willingness of Devin Haney, in my opinion, has never been in question. It's always pretty much been on the other side of the conversation as far as the willingness of the other fighters to fight him. Well, here he goes. Devin Haney, who's already probably been any fighter who's jumped in front of him their biggest payday. Listen, you compound that with a Turkey Al Sheik, and listen, boxing is looking good, right? Boxing is looking good. Very interested in seeing what happens here. Now, is this the Devin Haney era? Look, this is Bill Haney's vision for his son. This is how he sees his son, and probably how he should see his son. You have invested the time, you have invested the mental capacity, and watched Devin Haney develop from the age of 7, 8, 9 years old to be where he is today. Of course, Bill Haney is going to see his son as one of the best to do it, and he believes his son has the skills and the pedigree to go ahead and navigate through this boxing space. And if it's not considered the Devin Haney era now, later on down the line in the future, maybe hindsight will show that it was the Devin Haney era. But I'll tell you this, though, if you are on a mission to do that and to make this your era, you have to be willing to do what Bill Haney's put out there, and that's have a list of fighters that you're willing to fight that most people aren't willing to fight. And putting it out there like that shows you how serious Bill Haney and Devin Haney is about this whole entire boxing space. Now, your favorite fighters, I'm sure if they've let out a list of fighters that they want to fight. I know Jerron Boots Ennis is a fighter who's always in the game to be challenged and fight the best that's out there. Shakur Stevenson has been on the same exact page. Gervonta Tank Davis, however you want to look at it, doesn't seem like he's very interested in fighting the best fights that are out there. He is one of the most celebrated, if not the most celebrated, quote unquote, a face of boxing today, but not checking the boxes when it comes to fighting the best fighters out there that the fans want to see, right? Brian Norman Jr., young champion in the game, looks like he's on the same page, trying to fight the best and show that he's the best fighter in the game. I'm sure he's looking for the best paydays. Mario Barrios, we'll see where that ends up going. But Keyshawn Davis, Rolly Romero, Conor Benn, these fights are all fights that can legitimately be made. So my question is, which one is going to be first, right? Right now, it does seem like Teofimo Lopez seems to be at the top of the list right now. Turkey Al Sheik seems to have shown interest. There seems to be a live negotiation going on, or present negotiation going on, trying to get that fight put together. Teofimo Lopez, with all the antics and all the nonsense that he's done, and that he's presently in the middle of. One thing that I've never really taken away from him is he does seem like he's willing to fight the best fighters in the game. Now, the antics have put Teofimo Lopez inside of a box. Very hard to support a fighter like that who uses racism and all these different antics to try to get into these opportunities. But I don't think that takes away from his skill set. He's still a great dance partner. He's still a generational talent in this era of boxing, and a win and against Teofimo Lopez does great things for your resume. It doesn't hurt you, it helps you. He is a formerly arguable undisputed champion. He is a current lineal champion, holding a title as well with the WBO at 140 pounds. This is a great fighter to have on your resume. Jerron Boots Ennis, must-see future superstar pound-for-pound fighter right now on a lot of people's list is a pound-for-pound fighter, but if not on your list now, will be in the future, and a current unified lineal champion in the welterweight division. Mario Barrios, has history, common opponents out there with some of the best fighters in the game as far as Keith Thurman is concerned, as far as Gervonta Tank Davis is concerned. He's lined up to fight Manny Pacquiao in the coming months, holding a title in that welterweight division, a division where Devin Haney plans on competing in. Keyshawn Davis, up-and-coming superstar in the game, current WBO lightweight champion at this point, probably going to be entertaining moving up to 140 pounds. Real hungry fighter who's probably willing to make sacrifices, fight catchweight fights, whatever it takes to be in the ring with the likes of a Devin Haney, or even these fighters that are on this list could literally and probably will be at some point fighting each other. It's really interesting, a real exciting thing to see when you see fighters putting their best foot forward that way. Listen, guys, I'm all for it. I'm all in. I want to see Devin Haney in front of these guys. I think it's going to take the likes of these guys to get the best out of a Devin Haney. I will say that Devin Haney will have to be a little bit more offensive, right? These are big shows, big fights, moving around the ring, escaping the fight, running away from the contact, as some people might call it, might not be the best thing. These fighters are looking for live partners. I'll go on record to say that the Devin Haney who fought against Jose Ramirez isn't the Devin Haney I'm used to seeing. This is not the way he's used to fighting. We have to remember that he was on a process of making a return off of a very traumatic experience, fighting Ryan Garcia in his last fight before he fought Jose Ramirez. So we'll give him some grace on that, right? And say we're looking forward to see what the future holds with Devin Haney. But listen, Bill puts out the list. It is what it is, man. That's how you're going to do it. If you're going to say that Devin Haney, it's his era, if you're going to try to speak of Devin Haney being a great and you want to see him do great things, well, this is how you do it. You put a list out like this, you document it, you put it out there, you can't take it back, and we're looking forward to see him stand on those words and look forward to see Devin Haney also stand on business and back his father by fighting these fights. These are great fights. 8 fights off the rip that must see boxing, and other fights that can also be made as well. Guys, let me know how you feel. Put it in the comment section. Who would you like to see Devin Haney fight against next? What do you think about the list? Is it a hype train? Is it a big cap job? Is Devin Haney not willing to fight these fights? Are you guys not concerned or interested in seeing these fights? Or is this the exact thing you want to see from your fighters? Do your favorite fighters put out lists like this, fight fighters like the fights that are on this list? Is this what makes boxing great? Is this going in the right direction to make boxing back to being the #1 sport in the world? You guys let me know what you think. Guys, thank you again for tapping in. Remember, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it. Remember to hit the thumbs up and the like button so this gets in the right spot in the algorithm. Guys, appreciate you, man. Until the next one, it's your boy Claymore Rain, and at this point, we out.